All right, hey, welcome. This is the last week of our game eight here. Um, we have the dwarf, white knight, elf, and magician. Dwarf has a couple points lead, but he is currently under the effects of the wither curse. Um, if you checked out last week, the dwarf found. Where was the dwarf? The dwarf was looting the altar when he found the moldy skeleton, which caused all this good loot to appear, but it also cursed him with wither, which knocked then all of his chits into here, into the fatigued, and and you can see it's a pretty good haul for the dwarf to get to the chapel, right? I calculated at about 6 days for him, and then decided, well, if I'm going to spend 6 days, I might as well just walk off the board. And if I walk off the board, at least I can get my. So he sold everything, walked off the board, um, and then you can at least get 10.5 points. And so the question there is, do you do that? Let me search this. Do you do that? Do you keep? So in this case, do you do that? Do you sell everything and walk off the board, or do you keep trying and you try to score an extra point or two? Now, if you try to score the extra point or two, you still ideally want to get uncursed. You can't fight anything on your own. Having said that, he now has enough money. He could probably hire the guard. Guard's not super expensive. It's not cheap by any stretch. It is $12 to hire the guard. And you get maybe a times three, maybe a times four, and you can spend $48, and you could hire them. And then the question then becomes, what can you do with the guard? Well, the one thing they'll do if you hire the guard, and so the one thing I would definitely do if I hired the guard would be I'd follow them to get uncursed. And you could literally follow the guard HQ and make a beeline back and get there in closer to 3 days than 6 days. And then 3 days is going to leave you midweek. And then the question there is, could you essentially score, say, 2 cards? Because doing that, you're going to give up some of your gold lead, right? Because your gold lead is 61 to 23 to 0 to 2. It's actually pretty solid, that gold lead. He would have to score 40 gold. And the White Knight has no treasures right now anyway. So, you might be able to spend $32, get the guard, keep your gold lead, and then still have a chance to, say, pull out a card or two and thus up your score to 11 or 12 instead of 10.5. I definitely think that's the interesting play. I think it ultimately is not a super dangerous play. The guard is pretty damn buff against a lot of shit. Now the only other question would be then, do you reduce this by $14, right, and keep the lucky charm? Which is probably what I would do, because the lucky charm. So 14, that makes that $32. So it only has $47. Now that becomes dicier, right? Because then if you have to spend $32 to get the guard is only friendly with you. If you get it times 2, the guard costs you 16. But if you get times 3, they cost you 24. And then your gold lead becomes mostly non-existent. So it is a very interesting choice, actually. It's sort of a fascinating little, decision. You're essentially betting that gold lead which is worth 1 point, maybe two, but definitely 1 point, and going, I think I can make 2 points on elsewhere on the board. Um, Big game is certainly possible. Rescue is certainly possible. Ghost Hunter looks like a non-starter. So what I did do was, so there's a couple things. I did retcon the dwarf's move back to, and what we'll do is actually we will keep that. So we will say that the dwarf did sell the lucky charm, even though it's super useful to do that. But we said he sold it. I moved him back into the guardhouse um, instead of moving the one pass, which is what I did. At the end of the day, we're going to turn in Ghost Hunter for Deep Diver, which is loot from the pool. So there you go. So he turned in, he got Deep Diver, which we know where the pool is. So again, that's another one, which is pretty darn good for him. So given that he did that, and we drew events like we do at the beginning of every week, and we got Damsel in Distress, which would appear if we see the Horde or the Lair. We've seen neither. The Hermit, who also breaks curses, by the way. And he's over here. Not the best. And we could certainly make it to him. That would be a point, by the way, because the first guy to get to the Hermit gets a point. We could also end the Poison Pool. Where the hell's the Poison Pool? So it's here. So we have the Poison Pool, which can be resolved by some of the characters. I have to look it up to see what's what. So, so I think we're gonna do the interesting decision for the dwarf. We're not gonna walk him off the board. Instead, we are going to. Now, if he can't hire the guard in a couple days for a reasonable price, then yes, I think he walks off the board and he just says, I did what I did. But if he can, let's say he gets them for price times two. Let's say he gets them for $16. Then you hire him, you exclusively follow the guard, and that would be 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days to the hermit. So not great. Or 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 3 to 4 days to the chapel. So either one of those then get your curse removed. And then the question would be, could you, would someone pop a tremendous creature, and then you could get big game, and maybe even pop the rescue in there and get that done. And so, would you possibly score? Is it possible to score 3 points essentially by potentially giving up one, or maybe at most 2 points away because of the goal? So that's what we're going to try. And so our first day, I think, unfortunately, so this is another problem, right? Your first day is probably just hiring. So even that's a day. So maybe this is all a terrible idea, but we're going to stick with it and see what the heck happens. The White Knight is still committed to. So he finally has the ruins found. So he's going to go. I think he's going to do 1, 2, and just try to move into the pool there and hope for the best. So he's going to move into the cavern. So where is he moving to? He's moving into 1. Cavern 1 with the poison pool. So that's a little dangerous because every monster in there has a sharpness star added to their attack until that pool is dealt with. But that's his goal. He was going to search this. That was going to be his last hurrah. He's actually hoping to pop goblins, strangely enough, because he can go talk to them. He's hoping to get any large treasure and maybe find the lair done. And then might as well resolve the pool while we're here, right? The elf. Uh, elf is not. Oh, the elf's trying to get back to the gosh darn circus, I think. So I think that's his gig. Get back to the circus. And getting back to the circus is a little bit of a hassle, but extra hide, move, 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 and he's still in the cliff there. And that is cliff 4. So that's cool. And then the magician. So the magician has won spells pretty much outright. He's pretty sure he's won spells. He has crappy treasures, but even so, crappy treasures are good enough for the gift exchange. So if he can get back to anyone, he could pop gift exchange. I think he could do locate the altar, but you're talking one, maybe 2, 3 days just to do that. He can go 1, 2, so 1, 2, 2 days, 3 days, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 day. He can go 2 days back to and do gift exchange right now. So I think that's what he's going to do. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to end up in Pine Woods. Move, 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 Pine Woods, and he's heading for the gift exchange. Um, and he does need to rest, but I think he'll live with that for now. So that's what we got. That's what we got for everybody. Um, we are in our last week. It's a pretty good game. It's pretty tight. I enjoy these games where it's a couple points. We got dragons today, so let's now see who's gonna do what. Got the dwarf going first, and there you go. So we're fighting the guard. The guard is 4 dudes, $2 a piece. Where the heck did my? I have no idea where my dice have gone. By the way, like the dwarf's dice are just nowhere to be found. What the hell? He did rest though, so this chit is rested. I don't know why. So we got a lot of things we don't know. Essentially, is what it comes down to. Me. Are these dice the same size? And we're gonna say they are. We're done. We're good. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, so the dwarf is gonna hire. He's $8. He's gonna hire. He's looking for a price times 3, really, if he can make it. That's 1. Oh, 2, not so good. Price times 4. I'd rather not spend 32. 3, price times 3. That's $24. We have $37. So that's what we're banking on. And we now have hired the entirety of the guard to our employ. I'm going to haste one of these chits to go in there. Oops, come on, because he'll need a. He will indeed need. Did that just? It just didn't go in, did it? There we go. Because he will need one of those. We will actually just put that on the board. These guys will come with us, and they'll be right there. So there you go. So we've hired the guard. It took a day. That's good. We will be following the guard pretty exclusively now until we can get to a place where we can move on. If anything needs fought, different story. Maybe we'll do the deed there. In fact, does he do it? I think he does. I think we're gonna. Um. think we're going to pop rescue right now. I think we're going to try it. So rescue is going to be we can't be in the same hex, but we don't have to be. It's right here. So we need to generate a group 4. So it is a rogue. The top level rogue is now there. And we search. I'm going to pick up a rescue right here, and we're going to put that right there also. So these 2 bats with this guy are right there. So that's our rescue right now. So we've popped rescue, and we'll deal with that then in a couple days. White Knight walks right in. Stink and the Lost City. Lost City is in 3. I don't think it matters. You know, this could be terrible, could be awesome. The Lair in 3. The Patter in 2. Pretty sure that that's 2. Patter in 5. Vault in 3. Horde in 6. Holy moly. So, what do we have? We got the Horde in 6. We got the Lair in 3. I don't think anything else draws. Nothing else draws. Now keep in mind, all these guys hit a little harder than they just did because of the poison pool. That's a little dicey, but we do have our guy, but still a little dicey. So let's see what happens. Magician, 1, 2, 3, 4, done. And the elf. The elf's gonna hide once. He fails because it's +1, and he goes here and here. And Flutter might actually bring stuff. In fact, I'm pretty sure Flutter in the mountains. So it's Flutter 1. Oops. Flutter 1 brings some dragons. And I don't think anything else does, though. I think Flutter. Oh, and Slither. Holy crap. Nope, we get this guy, too. Slither brings that guy. Oof, that's going to make the dwarves' life. Oh, and Smoke. Hold the hell on. Okay, so hold on. Timeout. I actually screwed that up a little bit. Smoke would draw first. Smoke M draws here first. That silver breastplate is still wherever it was, as was the jade shield. And then Flutter can't bring anything in, Slither brings it to here. So yeah, Flutter's done, and Slither still brings this guy. So the elf is going to have to deal with that. Okay. Wow. Literally all the dragons, all have just shown up. Boom. Tons of them. 2 dragons, not good. Elf is not happy. The elf's going to play his move 2, and he's going to run. He's out the door, actually. No way that's happening. Does he have any reason to kill these guys? No, he would want a giant or a troll. Neither of which we can actually find. So great, but I think that's the day. Now, pretty much everyone is rethinking their life choices now, but that's okay. The dwarf's going to follow the guard. The guard is going to in theory, the guard HQ is going to move, and then move into 6. The White Knight. The Knight. The Knight does not have. He wants to locate the lair, actually. So the lair is 3, so that's good. So he's going to hide and move into the lair. So that's done. The elf has to move to, I think, 6. He's going to hide. He's going to move back into the flying dragons. Hopefully, just be able to get through there. The magician, 1, 2, 3. So the magician is going to go 1, 2, 3, turning gift exchange. Uh, so he's going to move to the inn. He's going to do the exchange. Then I think he's going to do trade. So done. Okay. I think that's it. Let's see what the monster roll is. It is a 2 for serpents and demons. And it's going to be magician, the white knight, the dwarf who's just following. So there you go. The 1, 2, 3. Okay, magician is going to score the gift exchange. So he turns that in. He is going to give his buddies barely matters. I think he'll give them the ointment of bite. So ointment of bite goes to the rogues. He'll take the scroll of nature, cause what the hell? And then he's going to do a trade in which he sells both those treasures, both of these, back to the rogues. As cheesy as that is, done. And he's going to get $15. I don't think that actually, wins him anything at this point, but it puts him in a position maybe to get closer, right? That's what he wants. He wants to put him in position to maybe steal a win here, right? So that's what he does, and he is done for the day. And I don't know if anybody shows up. The house or the small campfire, no one shows. The White Knight is second. White Knight is going to hide. He does, and he goes in there. Now the question is: serpents and demons, triangles, upside down greens? No, nothing. So he is alone with our dragon. The elf has to move out. Yeah, okay. And actually, he sort of burned a day there, didn't he? Can he make it back in time? Like, if he's there today, so because we're on day, what day are we on? We're on day 23. Cast, day 24, day 25, 6, 27. Okay. I think we're okay. So he's gonna hide with a +1 penalty, unfortunately. He does, and then he moves back into here. So that's cool. Now, does anything else happen? The altar doesn't pull simply because it does not pull at all, and so we are done there. And then this guy goes 1, 2, 1, 2, and the dwarf follows him. And nothing pull. Wait, slither. Hold on. That's a thing. Oh nope. All the snakes are gone. because there should be snakes coming, but they are all gone. So nothing appears. So the dwarf is moves. He's safe with his guard buddies. And that is the day, with the caveat that we have essentially one combat for sure, another one not quite for certain here. But the White Knight, I think, is going to take care of this dragon. So keeping in mind that first off, this dragon does more damage than it should. Let's see what the White Knight's strategy is going to be. I think this is an auto kill. So if we play this to alert the weapon, and we play this to use the weapon, and he's not on our sheet, which he's not, then it doesn't matter what happens. This is an auto kill for the knight. Does the head flip? It doesn't. So here's what happened. This is round one. The knight is fighting on the dragon sheet, actually. The dragon, dragon has no targets. But he undercuts, does tremendous damage, and kills it. Hidden with the Morning Star, the White Knight kills a lot of tremendous shit. A lot easier than he should. That's 10 more just to cement that victory. Dragon goes in, a little dead pile there, and then we are done. The elf is not going to shoot these guys. The reason being is that if he runs, he has to run the wrong way. And he really needs to be over here. So let's see what our plan is here. Our plan for the dwarf and company is to hide and then move. Or is it? I think we're gonna hide, move to the bat. I think that's the goal. So the dwarf is following the guard, and the guard is hiding, and then moving to the rescue. So let's hope that works. Let's watch this fatigued, nearly dead dwarf pick a little bit of butt. The White Knight needs to find the lair. That's his goal, actually. So he's trying to get that lair. Oh, and by the way, the damsel is going to appear in one of these two spots, pretty much. So let me pull the damsel. Oh, no, did I delete her? Okay. Yes, I may have deleted the damsel. Which is fine. It's not a huge deal. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this, and then we'll pull open that object again, the event bag. This doesn't matter that there's dupes or whatever. We're not. So let's search, and we get the damsel, and she is either in, we'll call it 1, 2, 3, the lair, 4, 5, 6, the horde. 1. So there you go. The White Knight essentially gets a little bit of a bonus here. Damsel in distress. End of phase in a clearing unhidden to free her from her chain. So damsel's there right now. And so the White Knight is in the lair right now on day 24. So he is going to, and he has to find the lair anyway. So we're going to double search and hope to get that done. Okay. So that's his turn. The elf, who has officially snuck past the dragons, is going to go 1. So he's going to go into 2. So he goes move into Valley 2. He is going to rest. And I hate to say it, but rest again, because he sort of has to rest. He is going to. It doesn't really matter, but he does extra hide for giggles. Mm, So we won't rest. Instead, we will spell X and spell, and then we'll do a gold. We'll bring another gold chit in. So we'll just be here at the end, but we'll be able to cast Veil Walker tonight. We'll even mark it that we will cast Veil Walker. So there you go, done. That'll put us 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be a move away from where we need to be to score that point. The magician. So the magician needs to draw a card, and he needs to drop a card. And actually, he's going to drop the remaining 2 cards that he has. He'll draw one last hand to see if anything's going to be useful enough. It isn't. It's Guide. Explore the mountain. And Consult Demon. All of which would be great some other time. Right? I mean, just not ideal right now is what it comes down to. I don't think he's going to be able to manage any of those. Where's the mountain? Like, how far of a run is that? That is quite the jaunt. Oh, the mountain's over here. You know what? Well, I don't think he's going to make it. There's a lot of days to do that. But 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He actually might be able to do that. He might be able to explore the mountain. So he is going to. He's gonna. So there you go. So he's got that done. So what is his move then? His move on day 24 is going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the ruins and hope for the best. Pretty much. So move, ruin 2. Move, ruin 2. Done. And don't get me wrong, not a great start. We're getting a little rushy, right? That's how this happens. And last week we're trying to get some shit done. So going to be the guard with the dwarf. And we need a monster roll for the day also. Well, that is an interesting position. Let's try that again. 5 spiders and imp. And the guard is first. So we need to hide twice. Success in the first one. So 1. So 1, 2. And there we go. So we and the dwarf move in to where that guy is hidden. The elf goes here. He's unhidden, by the way. He rests once to bring this chit back into play. He's going to spell X and spell to turn that chit over and hide. He succeeds. -1 or +1 penalty, though. But he is hidden. But I think that's it. That's the move. And the White Knight is next. The White Knight is going to search 2 times. So he needs to locate the lair. 3, that's not going to do it. He does get this path, though, out of the cavern. I don't think it matters. It's cavern 3/5 enchanted. Okay. That's his first search. This is his second search. This is where he could grind to it. Nothing. He finds nothing. Or he could grind to a halt, by the way. It is spider. So the patters. It's patter in the caves. That's not going to draw anything. Finally, the magician goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, patter doesn't draw anything. So that was day 24. We do have a fight, though. We have 2 bats and the guard. And the dwarf let's see how this is going to play out. So we're going to drag 1 over, and then we will right click and copy this bad boy and paste it, and paste it again. And then let's not paste it and see if we can't actually get them. One, two. Ideally, like them to be all on the thingy. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay. So how is this going to go? Well, we need everyone to have a dude. So the leader is going to lure onto his own sheet. That guy. The dwarf cannot take any of these guys. There is no possible way for the dwarf to deal with these dudes. These dudes are going to deploy. So they'll be on the dwarf. They'll pull him off. And then he will go first and he'll go second. Just like that. The dwarf will be able to play at least that much on that dude's sheet. And now let's see where everyone goes. So this guy first, 6. So he goes all the way down there. Does he flip? He does not flip. So everybody's going to miss. Well, these guys get hit every time. He bangs into him. He's heavy and armored. Nothing happens. And so we are done there. So these guys are an auto kill, really, against bats. 1. So 1 stays intact. Does he flip? Again, great. 6, he does flip. Now what happens? Well, nothing yet, because we have to now roll both these guys because they are deployed. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 method. He goes here. He goes here. Does this guy flip? He does not. Does this guy flip? He does. So he hits him for medium. Nothing happens. These guys all miss. So that is the first round where nothing happens. We don't want a second round to go where nothing happens because we can't fatigue. The fight would end. So we're going to hope that someone hits here. So what about this guy? 4. So he's going to line up. And it doesn't really matter if that bat flips or not, but we roll it for completeness sake. He does. This bat, 5, goes down 1. And again, does he flip? Oh my god, what is with this? These dice are really... Do I have too many objects or something? The physics is just weeping. So we are done there. Both of these guys have to move. He moves here. He stays up here. Does he flip? Yes. Does he flip? Yes. So what actually happens in this case is that the dwarf lines up and hits him. First off, he hits him. Bam. Medium. No damage. We line up. He is dead. Both these things die. And we get a total of 9 prowess to add. So yes, I am glad-ish for sure that we did not run off the board. Actually, I think that was a more fun choice for sure. Now, what happens is that we turn rescuing because we're there. I think all we have to do is exist. This guy becomes another follower, so we have 4 followers. But more importantly, we actually score the damn point. So we're scoring the point. I mean, technically we're getting a card. It is black source. We have a source of black magic. Okay. We did rescue the damsel because even though we didn't find... Oh, no, we didn't find the lair yet. So we have to find the lair, essentially. That is true. So anyway, the dwarf is done with his move, killing the bat and scoring. So that's done. The elf now is going to having the elf moved 2, blah blah blah, spell X spell. Hold on a second. What? Oh, this is just the battle. I got it. So this was literally the battle at the end of 24. So we are at the end of day 24. So that's good. No, we don't have any more moves to do. We are good to go and done. Let's take a quick check of scores. So I'm going to show this, and then I'm going to move around a little bit to get what's what. The dwarf, 7 points on cards. He's now up to 11.5 points. The white knight still has 5 points of cards. So, and where are we at? 37 gold to 23. So that's still all pretty much the same. I think the elf is all the same. The magician has scored 1 point. So he is up to, I believe, 9.5. But still 2 points behind the dwarf. So, all right. So the dwarf has completed rescue. He's not necessarily going to get any more out of this. But I think he knows. Oh, he didn't take. Did he take the cliff 2 to 5 and 3 to 6? Does he know this path? I think he does. 2 to 5. So he is going to follow this guy again. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 into the bad valley. So we're gonna follow the guard. The guard's gonna move into the bad valley. Done. So that's done. The pally failed to find the lair yesterday. He's going to try to find the lair today. The elf. So tonight the elf casts Veil Walker, so he fatigues that shit, so he is walking the woods. So he's going to go to Cursed Valley 4. So move Valley 4 with a walk the woods. And then he's going to go, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Move to Deep Woods 2 is where he ends up. Move, Deep Woods 2. He can then extra hide, of course, just because. And he is done. Now we're looking to see, we're trying to explore the mountain. So is it any faster or slower to do it any specific way? I don't think so. I think 1, 2, 3. So we're going to hide and go, or we can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Let's do it. So we're going to go 4, 2, and 5. Move, mountain, 4, move, mountain, 2, move, mountain, 5. Done. So we've got 3 of the 5 complete. And I think that's everybody's day 25. So let's move the chit to day 25. Let's get a monster roll up. It is a 3. Could be goblins, could be octopi, could be a lot of things. Let's see who's going first. It is the dwarf, but he is following. So we don't really care when the dwarf goes. There we go. It's that guy. And then the white knight is last. So the magician goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And no goblins appear. Done. The elf walks the woods 1, 2, 3, 4. And nothing appears for him. And he will hide because he is there and he's got an extra one. It fails though, so there you go. He is done. The 1, 2, 3, 4. So they have an easy time. The white knight is going to search 2 times. He needs a 4 or a 1. He gets a 4, so he locates. That's cool. So he's going to locate the lair. Okay, good for him. So he locates the lair. That's going to score him a point right there. So locate the lair is done. Damsel is follower. So she is now a follower, and he has to bring her to any dwelling. So and he's going to spend. He is unhidden, so he will spends his 1 turn unhidden, and that will be to loot the lair. Frankly, might as well loot it. We're here, and he gets a 4. So he's going to draw the 4th treasure out of the lair, which is the penetrating grease, which isn't super useful. But he's also going to pop goblins. Lots and lots of goblins. So we get 2 hordes of goblins here. We get these 2. First one is there. Second one is there. Done. I don't think there's any fights. I think it is quiet today. So I think the dwarf is going to meander into the order. So 1, 2, 3. Fudge. 4. So we're going to. So, yep, we're going to do follow the guard, and then we're going to move to the order. Done. And then uncurse. Done. All right, that's him. The knight has not completed his stuff yet, but he has completed find the lair, and he looted it. And we'll draw. I mean, and technically at this point, so I should put a limit on drawing cards. Like maybe last week you can't draw anymore. I don't know. I think we are going to just go to any dwelling. So how can we resolve the poison pool? Alchemy and lore. We can purify the pool. Scholarly advice. End of phase with a visitor. We do not have a good chance to do the pull. We do not have exercise, melt and mist, remedy. We do not have magic 2 or 4. We don't have a visitor with us. I don't have time to go get one. So I think we are simply going to ignore that. And I think we are going to we're going to hide and move into the goblins and see if we can't move goblins. And then we should do diplomat. So that should score us another point, which is going to be cool. It's going to pull us, I think, to 10. So we got 26, 26. The elf. All right, where is the elf? Oof, the elf's going to pop into the circus. One, two, three, four, and then pop to the hermit, frankly. I think he has to locate the hermit, though. So the elf is going to move to the circus, move to the hermit. That should set him up to get maybe a couple more points here. The magician has 2 moves in the mountains. So move, and move. Deeper in the mountains. So which clearings is he going to record? 6 and 3. So 6 and 3. And then on day 27, he'll essentially be good to go. So let's turn all these back in. So on day 26, our monster roll is a 2 serpents and demons. Who goes first? It is the guard, and then the elf, and then the magician. The dwarf goes with the guard, he's simply following, and then the white knight. So 1, 2, 3, 4. He is done. Does anyone appear in the chapel? No one appears in the chapel. So we do waltz in there, and we are done. The elf goes here, turns the demon in. So elf, demon. I think that scores us 16 prowess, which is too little too late, really, right now. But let's see what we get in any case. So for the circus, you get 1 VP, you earn 10 gold. So he does score a VP. He does earn 10 more gold, which again doesn't do him much good. He gets double the prowess value for the creature, which puts him to 20, which again I don't think is going to matter at this point. And then he walks up to the hermit, and the hermit, I believe, requires a locate. Hermit, yep, 1. So again, that's 1 VP potentially. He has 2 days. He's going to score 1 more VP. So he goes boop, up to here. Or you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go here to turn the scholar. Actually, I think that, so he goes 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe that's better because that's a guinea. He can turn the scholar in, and that's an auto, as opposed to the hermit. So who shows up? Serpents, demons. No serpents, no demons. The elf is done. The magician pops up here. The shrine would pop a winged demon, but there are no winged demons left. So he is done. And then the white knight is going to hide once. Fails. He walks up to the goblins who then block him. But nothing appears because there's no serpents and demons. And so, do we have any other fights? No, but the white knight is going to pop diplomat. He's going to draw this guy to be his buddy. You know, along with the Uber Knight and the other knight, we now have a goblin buddy. Who wants to learn to be a knight? The rest of these guys go away. They disperse back to the pile. And the knight is scoring a point on day 26. So that was pretty good. I don't think anything appears, though, because I think we're serpents and demons. I think we're mostly done with serpents and demons. Is that it? Is that it? The dwarf does have to roll with the order. He rolls trouble with the order. This isn't ideal, but I think that's not terrible, unfriendly. It's an insult. He's got to lose 5 points, bringing him to 27. So we got 2 days left. Let's check scores real quick with 2 days remaining. So Dwarf has 7. He has 27 notoriety and 37. Okay. So his score is, I think, unchanged. The knight has now scored 7 points with cards. But that does not quite yet. But he has nothing else. He's not winning anything else. He hasn't taken anything from the dwarf. But he is now only a point and a half behind. The elf has scored 5. He has 20 and 10. Not quite enough, but you might be able to eke that point off of the dwarf here. And the magician is 6, 10, and 17. He could steal a point from the knight if he could actually squeeze $6 out of the game. But yeah, he's still at 9.5. So we are heading into the last 2 days. The dwarf is uncursed, but still not rested. Like, he's still exhausted. He just happens to be uncursed. And we essentially, could we get one, two? So, oof. So can the dwarf loot from the pool? That's really the question. So first thing is, does the dwarf know where the pool is? The dwarf knows where the pool is. So let's take a look at this. We have 2 days left. If we go 1, 2, we can either go 1, 2, and then use our extra phase to rest. I think that's what we're going to do. So the dwarf, the guard will follow the dwarf now, just offhand. And we're going to move to Borderland 4. So move and then move BL4. And then we're going to use our extra phase to rest. And we're going to follow the dwarf. And then that is done. We're going to try to eke out. We can get one more point out of this, I think. We have done Diplomat. We have Secret of the High Pass, which is, we're done. That's not going to pass. We could do Gambler, which will score us a point if we can gamble with the rogues or the soldiers. Soldiers are way down there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We can actually make it. So I think the White Knight is gonna move to Valley 4, and he is done. And he can turn the damsel in also. So he's making a beeline back to score maybe 2 more points in the last day. That's sort of fun. The elf's going to move 4, then with maybe an extra hide. I don't know what he feels about the soldiers. That's neutral, but he's going to hide anyway and then go 1, 2, 3, 4 into the house. So extra hide and then move to the house. Done. The magician makes a double move to the top of the mountain. Move to 1. That completes explore. And he's going to move back to 3, really. That's all he can do. I mean, and actually, you know what? I hate to say it. He's just going to hide twice at that point. There's not a lot of reason to putz around at that juncture. So, all right, day 27 it is. We are almost to the end here. Let's see what we got. We got serpents and demons. The last couple days seem to be ending like they started. The dwarf's going to go first. The dwarf is first. The dwarf moves and moves. And he's going to rest once, I believe, to pull back any damn shit because he needs fatigue just to do that. In the meantime, serpents and demons don't bring anything because they're all dead. So he is done. Magician goes up, pops his thing, moves back down. So the magician gets a VP. So let's score him real quick. So 7. He gets 10 gold for completing the mountain. And he learns all the paths in the mountain. Which is sort of cool. But I don't know if that might kick him in gold. It actually going to put him above the White Knight, strangely enough, in gold. So he will knock the Knight down one, and I think steal a point from the Knight right now. So that was a good one to solve if you're going to solve it. Serpents and demons drag nothing because this demon is dead. That's the magician's turn. The elf goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He will be hidden, potentially, we hope. He is, because he doesn't have the dude anymore. The scholar takes up residence at the house. The elf scores 1 there. So also good. Let me really quickly just update. There we go. Updating my scoreboard real quick just to make sure it's up to date. So the elf is done. Does anyone appear there? The house, yes. The woodfolk actually appear at the house. It barely matters, but they do. And then the White Knight goes 1, 2, and he is done with the day. Let's check. Oh, I did that whole fucking day with the scoreboard off because I'm an idiot. Let's pull the scoreboard off. Oh, jeez. God damn it. I get excited about the scores and then forget sort of what I'm doing. So we still have 11.5 for the dwarf. The White Knight loses a point because he is now not second place in gold anymore. Ew, that's a problem. Because his gold total's 23. So that's going to knock him down. The elf has 6 cards pulled. He has 20 notoriety. I don't think anybody's necessarily in danger there. The magician scores a 7th point. He pulls a gold point off of... So he ends up with 10... Oh, wait, hold on. He ends up with 9, 10, 11 and a half points. Right? 8, 9, 10, 11 and a half. 10, 11 and a half. Done. So there's a tie game. I will actually turn the damn scoreboard off. And again, I apologize for that. Oh, okay. Got a little bit of a breeze coming in my house, which is great. It's also blowing cars off. Let's close this window just real quick. Sorry about that, too. And what's our last day look like? So, I think the dwarf tries to... So the dwarf is going to move to the pool. The dwarf is going to... So extra move to the pool. He is going to search and hope to get a draw, and that will score him a point. The magician's hoping he doesn't score a point, because I don't think the magician can score any more points. The magician is done, so the magician's going to hide 4 times and be done. The white knight does also have the opportunity to. So the only thing is, can the elf. Yeah, can the elf score gold? And I think he's going to maybe try to do that. So the white knight is going to move, and then move to the inn to turn in the damsel and try to turn in gambler. Done and done. The elf will use his extra hide, but he's going to hide 3 more times in the next queue to trade. Hope to sell the girdle of energy. And the magician is going to ride it out. And so he is done. So real quick, we'll get a monster up in here. 4. So giants and trolls. We haven't seen too many of those actually. We get the white knight first. The dwarf with his buddy, the elf and the magician. So the white knight goes 1, 2, 3, 4. He is done. So interesting question. He can bet up to 20 gold. He is currently in 3rd place on the gold list here. We know that the elf's going to be able to steal some gold away. The white knight could bet up to 20. If he gets 43, does he win? Yes, he could bet up to 20, or he could lose no points. So he's either going to score some points. He will indeed. He'll do it. He's going to bet 20 right now. And he's going to hope to roll a 4 or less. He rolls a 6. He loses the entire thing. So he loses 20 gold. So he does turn in damsel. And he gets 1 VP there. And he gets another VP for gambling with the rogues, and they're buddies with him now. So there you go. He's going to end up with 9 points in cards and a couple points in prowess. The dwarf moves up to the pool. He's going to search 2 times. I don't know what is left in the pool. There's 5, so not super hard. Now he rolls a single die in caves. So he's going to roll once. Let's see if he draws. He fails the first time. Oh, come on. He's got to get... Okay, he succeeds the second time. So he's going to pull the second card. It's Power Boots. He has drawn something. He does have to fatigue. So we'll fatigue that. He does get an extra point, giving him 8 points. So let's see. Giants and trolls. Does anything appear? Nothing appears on the dwarf. So the dwarf seems to be safe. Seems like that's the score here. The elf hides a bunch of times, and he's going to execute a single trade with the woodfolk for 13 bucks. I'm just going to put this over here. I don't really care where it ends up. And the magician ends up hiding. So, all right. Now we pull up the scoreboard. Let's see where we end up. So, the dwarf ends up with 12.5 points. I think. We'll see in a second. The white knight has 11 points, right? He has 9 points. He has 2 prowess points. Gold, he's getting blanked. I think everything else he gets blanked. So he ends up with 11 points. The elf. Does the elf beat anyone's gold score? 23 gold. No, the magician has 27 gold. The dwarf, so yep, so that's all going to be the same. That's going to be the same. Great Treasures, I think, is going to be the same because no one else pulled Great Treasures. Spells are going to be the same. So Dwarf has 8 points. The White Knight has 9 points in cards, 6 points in cards, and 7 points for the Magician. So I think this represents the final score. The Dwarf scores 12 and a half. The White Knight finishes with 11. The Elf 6. Not a great showing for the Elf, but he had a game. He wasn't doing nothing. He just didn't quite pull cards which segged in. And really, what he should have done. It's hard to tell when to. Um, it's hard to tell when to abort a plan. I think in my estimation, there's a point in time where sometimes it just behooves you to stop going after cards, or it behooves you to stop going after one of the victory conditions and just decide to do another thing. And at some point, maybe the elf should have just said, you know what? I'm going to go kill dudes and try to grab some gold. And then maybe you don't score two or three of the cards, but maybe you pull 2 or 3 points somewhere else. In the meantime, again, the Magician, 2, 3, so 10, 11 and a half. I definitely think spells for all the spellcasters, it's a super important victory condition. And the Magician really, really pushed that and really did a good job there. So, that's it. That's my game 8. It was a good game, actually. These are 4 classes I like a lot. The Dwarf is rough. He's not an easy dude to play by any stretch. But uh, when he works really well, and he's really, really fun to do because that T3 makes him really hard to beat. So that's it. That's where I'm at. It was a good game. I do appreciate if you hung out at all and watched any of these. Um, you could you don't have to. It's not a big deal, but you can like the video. That'd be nice. And that's it. I will talk to you all later. Have a good one.